Hello there, this is Wes, and you are watching the MetaTrader 4 tutorial on how to install and use the indicators that are included in this course. We're going to be covering two different builds of MetaTrader 4 because recently they came out with build 6, and a lot of people have already been upgraded to that, and it's a little bit more complicated on how to find where to install the indicator as opposed to MetaTrader 4 build 5, which was the standard way for doing it. We're going to cover build 5 first because it's the easiest one and everyone's already done that before. And then we'll move on to build 6 because it's a little more complex as far as finding the directory you need to put the indicator in. And actually first we're going to start with how to unzip these files because you'll be downloading them from the site and they'll look just like this. And these are zip folders. So we're going to start by right-clicking on each of them and pressing Extract All. And I usually like to show extracted files when complete just so I don't have to go look for them. And usually they will extract to the same folder they're already in. But you can browse and have them extracted somewhere else if you would like. After I press Extract, it brings up the folder where the indicator is actually located. And I'm going to exit out of that because I extracted it directly to the folder it's already in anyway. So we've got free MT4, which has the Knoxville divergence indicator in it. And then we go to the missed pivot points and extract that as well. And now we have free MT4 and missed pivot points V1.2. Alright, so that was easy enough. Now we're going to go into how to install these indicators on build 5 of MetaTrader 4. To do so, you need to open up My Computer. On Windows 7 it's just called Computer, but you can open it by going to the Start menu and clicking on Computer. From there, you need to go in the C drive, then Program Files, and then find your version of MetaTrader 4. Right now I'm running MetaTrader 4 Alpari UK because I still have build 5 of that one. So I'm going to double click on that and go into Experts and then Indicators. Right now it's empty, so I'm going to copy and paste this indicator in here. And I'm going to copy and paste the other one in as well. And there it is. That's all that's necessary for build 5, and I'll open up build 5 just so you can see that it is there. Custom indicators, Knoxville divergence, and missed pivot points V1.2. Now if you're not familiar with how to open this little Navigator window, you can do so by clicking on this gold folder and star button right here. Or you can go to View, Navigator. Alright, so I'm going to open up a chart. Alright, so for placing the Knoxville divergence indicator on the chart, you can double click or drag and drop and press OK. And there's the Knoxville divergence indicator. And the missed pivot points indicator, I'm going to drag and press OK. And there are the missed pivots. Pretty simple, right? Alright, so now we're going to move on to build 6. Build 6 is a little bit more complicated than build 5 was, as far as finding the file directory where it needs to go. Unfortunately, I can't give you a direct route because it differs from computer to computer. So instead, what we're going to need to do is actually open up the platform. My build 6 platform is Owanda. Sorry about that. Seems like it disappeared there for a moment. Alright, so in here, it all looks pretty much the same, but finding the file directory is considerably more difficult. So first of all, we have two different ways of finding it, and most of the time this first way works just fine, and it's the easiest way to do it. But sometimes this first way doesn't work, and if it does not work, then we have to try something a little bit more complicated, but still easier than trying to find it by going through your computer. So we're going to go to File, Open Data Folder. And as you can see, for me personally, the file directory is computer, C drive, users, WES, app data, roaming, metaquotes, terminal, big long number, and then MQL4 and indicators. This is my file directory. It is long and it is complicated, and this is what it's like for me. But this is not what it's like for everybody, which is why I can't just give you a specific place to go. Alright, so I'm going to open back up this one over here, and I'm going to place in my indicators like I've done previously. Paste. Paste. Alright, so there they are. And I'm going to close MetaTrader 4, and that way the indicators will load onto my screen. I'm going to reopen it. Now, as you can see, I have Knoxville divergence and missed pivot points V1.2. They are going to be grayed out because you do not have the source code file. The source code is just the text for the actual indicator itself. But the indicator, the executable indicator, is the .ex4 file, and you have that. So, for both of them, simply drag and drop like we did before. As you can see, it comes up. And there's a missed pivot points as well. So that was easy enough. Unfortunately, that is not the way it always happens. Sometimes it doesn't come up the way that it's supposed to, or it doesn't come up through File, Open Data Folder. And instead we have to take a more direct route, which is a little different. For that, we need to open MetaEditor. Now you have a few different ways of opening MetaEditor. The first way is by clicking this little button next to Expert Advisors. It says MetaEditor when you hover your mouse over it. Another way is going to Tools, MetaQuotes Language Editor, or pressing F4. Any of these will work just fine. I'm just going to click the button because it's easier. Now, as you can see, it brings up MetaEditor. This is where you build Expert Advisors and you build indicators for MetaTrader 4. Now for this, we want to have the Navigator open. And in order to do that, you can go to View, Navigator, or press Control D. Either way will work just fine. Now to find the folder we were just discussing, right-click on Indicators and go to Open Folder. And it should bring up the correct folder for where you place your indicators. And this is what you're looking for here. So unfortunately, MetaTrader 4 Build 6 is a little bit different. It's a little bit more difficult to find the file directory that you need. But once you find it, then it'll get a little easier, and especially once you find it, like I'll do once again, what you should do once you have actually located the file directory that you need is create is create a link to it. Sorry, my computer's malfunctioning. Alright, so what I did was I created a shortcut to it on my desktop. I'm going to right click on MQL4 here, and I'm going to press create shortcut, and then I'm simply going to drag it to my desktop. I've already done this, so I'm not going to drag it there again, but that's the basic gist of how to get it there. That way, whenever you go to your desktop, you can always find it easy. And then you can access it much easier that way. If you have any questions, of course, you can always let us know. Have a great day.